There we are. Hello, Internet. How are we this evening? I'm sorry. I'm having major technical difficulties this evening. It always happens right before the show starts, too. So if you're trying to watch on Rumble, not going to happen. Not going to happen over there tonight, folks. Yeah, I hate Rumble sometimes. You can't set up a live stream more than like 24 hours in advance. It gets all messed up. All right, there she is. She wants to say hi to you guys. Okay. All right, fine. Okay. All right. Say hi to everybody, Scarlett. You're so needy and you need to be the center of attention all the time. All right. Can you go lay down now? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, that was nice and quick. She's getting good at this. She's becoming a star, you guys, and she loves all of you. All right. Let's remove the Rumble stream really quick. Alrighty, there it goes. I hope everybody had a great weekend. They are off to a wonderful Monday. I don't know if we got anybody in the chat. Well, you're definitely not in the Rumble chat. Yeah, we won't have much of a chat going on tonight. So I apologize, folks. No Rumble streaming tonight. So if you want to watch the show over on X or on YouTube, is going to be the only way to do it. It's funny, on StreamYard it still shows the old Twitter logo. Frankly, I miss it. I don't like the new X logo. I don't like X. I don't like the name. Wish you just make it Twitter again. Kind of do, but whatever. I'll stop complaining about that. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. If you are here and you'd like to help the show, give it a like, subscribe, share it with a friend, all that good stuff. If you'd like to consider following, all that good stuff. All that stuff helps. I am a young and growing show that I would like it to go somewhere. It'd be fun. It's fun to hang out with you guys, and I like it when you're in the chat. So if you'd also like to hang out and want to interject into the conversation, please feel free to do so. We're going to be talking a lot of California stuff tonight. Of course, we got Israel-Palestine stuff to get into. There's definitely news there, like always. And jeez, I don't think I've seen this much of a hot button issue. And I thought the George Floyd stuff was a hot button issue. I thought Trump was a hot button issue. This Israel-Palestine stuff is a whole nother level. Everybody's being forced to choose a team, and I'm not going to. So, all right, well, let's get into some California stuff. And then Gavin Newsom went to China. We saw that, but let's see where San Francisco's at. I haven't checked with them in about a week, so I'm sure not a ton's happened, right? San Francisco, a ton of crazy stuff couldn't have happened in that short of a period of time. Let's check in. Let's just see what happened today. Let's see what's going on over there. Well, let's read this quick one from Stanley Roberts. It's just the absolute state of San Francisco right now. This is from Stanley Roberts. He says, I talked about this on my podcast. The cops responded to St. Peter and Paul Church, where some man attacked a priest and tried to bomb the church with homemade pipe bombs. There are bombs located in the church. Cops have arrived on the scene to the report of assault, and a suspect throws a pipe bomb at them. Luckily, they are not hurt. Pursuit ensues, and the suspect is throwing pipe bombs at the officers. There is one at 8th and Mission that did not explode. They chase the suspect all the way to Martinez and take him into custody. Find more bombs in the car. Also, earlier in Bayview, 2 black male juveniles tried to rob an Asian male at Bayshore and Cortland. The Asian male fought back in the fight, and the Asian male stabbed both juveniles. One has died, and the other one is in serious, and the other one is serious, and it's not looking good for him. Okay, so that's just a quick post from Stanley Roberts from last night. That's just regular old day in San Francisco. And then, in the area, suspect drives stolen Kia Optima, crashes, gets ejected, and killed after taking police on a high-speed chase. This was 40 minutes ago. About 23 hours ago, there was a major incident at 8th and Market Street. Let's check in and see what this actually ended up being. I bookmarked it, so it had to have been something. San Francisco is another planet, man. Absolute shit show. Let's see. Okay, Okay, so you're looking for shell casings. Witness info on what occurred around the mission 8th and 9th seems to be tied to another explosives incident on mission and also high-speed pursuit across the Bay Bridge. Wild night tonight. Tyler Lawrence says, I was actually wondering what it was. I was just driving my bus up Mission Street approaching 9th when cops came screaming through the intersection headed south on 9th, and right before I pulled up to the mission, some kind of explosive hit the corner and lit the pavement on fire. What the hell? Okay. Next update says a police pursuit of a subject believed to have explosives okay, this is the same incident. This guy that was throwing pipe bombs. Like, what the hell did this end up being? Okay, so this is the SFPD press conference about it. Let's listen.
And he said he walked up to an individual, another parishioner who was in there in the service, and he said to the person, he asked the person to give him money, demanded money from that person. The parishioner continued to pray and ignored him, at which point the suspect then violently assaulted this parishioner, punching him in the head. We believe that the parishioner went unconscious temporarily. The suspect kept demanding money from this parishioner. Parishioner didn't know the suspect. Thankfully, many of the parishioners who were inside the church came to the aid and to the rescue of the victim and yelled out to the suspect. The suspect then left the church, and as he left the church, he was holding.
I'm sorry, who is this man? I'll reserve judgment.
Holding a folding knife, although he did not extend it. He had the folding knife in hand, and calls were made to 911. The suspect then took off from the church there on Filbert Street, where he proceeded to walk westbound on Filbert towards Columbus, and the 911 calls came in. Our officers responded quickly. Within 2 minutes, the footbeat officer in North Beach was on scene, was able to.
Okay, so dude tried to stab a priest, gets in his car, takes off, starts throwing pipe bombs at cops. They eventually get him. I guess his pipe bombs weren't that good. Wow. Okay, let's see what else happened. So this is the same thing. Okay, let's go back. San Francisco. It's all. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I can't even show this one because we're on YouTube. This is just. I can't. Oh, no, it's going to play. I can't. I got to scroll past it really quick. That was a naked lady out in the middle of the street in a puddle, cleaning off her undercarriage, if you know what I mean, with water that's coming out of like some broken pipe or something. Or a puddle, just in the middle of the street. Probably not getting it much cleaner. Okay. Anyway, this is from JJ Smith. He says, I woke up this morning and stumbled on a gentleman that overdosed. Now walking home, I witnessed the corners taking another fatal overdose. Please bless his soul. And we'll display this. I don't know. I don't need to play any more of that. It's them taking a body away. You guys get the gist. I just needed to cough. I apologize. I think it's 6,095 fentanyl-related deaths in California this year is what I looked up last night. And it's 17 gun deaths. And I believe that includes suicides as well in California. 1,700, sorry. So 1,700 versus 6,000. Do you ever at all even hear Gavin Newsom mention the fentanyl stuff? Well, now that he's starting to, because it's coming up on election season in San Francisco and LA are hellholes, but it's here too. Like you can't say that you're trying to address the fentanyl problem and at the same time have the state of California be providing fentanyl paraphernalia for free to fentanyl addicts. Come and get it. Oh, you got your fentanyl from the Hondos on the corner? Well, we got your paraphernalia that you need. It's insane. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, so far in the last 24 hours, we got 2 high-speed chases. One, the guy in a stolen Kia Optima gets ejected. This is Vallejo, so it doesn't really count San Francisco, but I'm counting it anyway. Gets ejected on a high-speed chase, and he's dead. There's a guy throwing pipe bombs that tried to stab a priest. This person washing her cooter in the middle of the street. And then you've got this dude, 2 guys overdosing just in front of this one person, JJ Smith. Witnesses 2 different people overdosing to death on the streets of San Francisco in one day. So it's 24 hours. And then next, what do we got? So surveillance footage captures BMW 5 Series running the red light at Hyde and hitting. Oh, yeah. And this is from October 28th. So just the last 2 days, all the stuff I just mentioned and this person that they ran the red light, clipped the Audi, and then they killed a pedestrian. Look at. Sorry, I don't know if I can go full screen. What up, Wally World? How you doing? Yeah, yeah, sorry guys, because I'm having issues again with my computer. This video doesn't want to play. Oh, no, it does. Sorry, folks. All right, well, yeah, 48 hours. You get the picture. Just somebody, all the stuff I just mentioned, and then this guy runs red light and clips an Audi and ends up killing the pedestrian. Come on, man. Right when I was about to close it, it starts playing. So I think it's this guy on the corner here. Oh, no, it doesn't show it. It just shows the Audi flying to the intersection, or I'm sorry, the BMW flying to the intersection. Yeah. So blast through a red light, kills a pedestrian. And then, so what's Scott Wiener doing? So Scott Wiener, California state senator, San Francisco is in his district. San Francisco high rate of car break-ins is unacceptable, and the current law adds senseless barriers to holding auto burglars accountable. Yesterday, okay, let's see what he has to say here. It's a 1 of 7 thread. I guess I might as well read it from Slender Man here. Yesterday, I announced the new legislation to eliminate these ridiculous obstacles. Okay, encouraging. Let's see what you're talking about. Current law requires prosecutors to provide vehicle. Current law requires prosecutors to prove a vehicle was locked in order to convict an auto burglary suspect, even if there was a video of the window being smashed. My legislation. Oh, okay, that is terrible. That's hilarious. So they have to prove that the car was locked, even if they smashed the window and broke. Wow. Okay, I was unaware of that. My legislation eliminates these needless requirements, so forcible entry is sufficient to prove an auto burglary is a crime. Okay. All right. I'm with that. I'm actually with that. I can't stand Scott Wiener, but I'm actually with that. This dumb locked door requirement is a huge obstacle. It forces victims to physically come to court just to testify the door was locked. That's insane. Oh, so tourists. Yeah. Tourists aren't going to come back to testify. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's huge. And they target tourists too. Yeah, no, these are all great points. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Scott Wiener. SF has suffered an epidemic of car break-ins for many years, but we are making progress. Okay, Scott Wiener. Yes, San Francisco's been. So why are you doing this now? Why did this take you years to figure out? Did you just figure this out? Like you're just telling us about it. I just figured it out. What up, Kimberly Hogan? How you doing? Do I think they're created some of these laws so they can just repeal them and look like heroes? No. San Francisco tries to. I don't know if it's because of their progressive policies. I don't know if they're just constantly bleeding money, but they murder the middle class, the working class, like parking tickets. You need a cipher to be able to figure out where you can park in San Francisco, especially if you're in like the financial district or downtown or anywhere. Their signs are like, you can park in between the gray and the yellow, but only on every third Tuesday of leap year. It's like the signs are insane that you're reading them. You're just like, wait, you're almost want to like step forward and then step back as you're reading it because you're not sure what you're allowed to do. I got my van towed there. I was to the impound yard within 45 minutes, and it was $700 and something to get my van out of the impound, and my work wouldn't pay for it. It was so messed up. I didn't have $700. San Francisco, nickels and dimes, everybody. In Pacific Heights, for example, I'm always complaining about this crap. There's a 2-hour parking limit on all the parking spots in Pacific Heights. All of the work that contractors do for private people are like for homes, residential contractor work, like remodels, plumbing jobs, painting, audio, video, which I did, electrical, all the stuff. There's tons of people working in Pacific Heights every day, all day long. Every single one of those workers has to go out and move his work vehicle every 2 hours. He has to leave the job site and go and try and find new parking. You have to drive around for 30 minutes to an hour sometimes just to find new parking. And if you don't, they will hammer you. They got these stupid little people that drive around in their buggies with bike helmets on, and they got these cameras, and they don't even mark your tires anymore. They digitally mark your tires now. It's insane, and they are on it to the freaking minute. They'll drive past your car, check it. If you go over by 1 minute, boom, $200 ticket or whatever the hell it is. It's insane. It's absolute madness. Also, if you're even slightly on a hill in San Francisco, like slightly on a hill, and you don't turn your wheels in the correct direction, even though cars today, this isn't a thing anymore. Your transmission doesn't just drop out of your car and your car will roll. Anyway, if you're slightly on a hill, you don't turn your wheel in the right direction, you're going to get a ticket. They're all over the middle class for the tiniest things, every single little thing they can hammer you for in San Francisco. Meanwhile, the Hondos can sell fentanyl openly on the streets. You can take up metered parking spots with a homeless tent and just camp out there. Just take up the metered parking spot. But if you were to park there in your car and leave it there for 5 minutes past when the meter expires, you're getting a ticket. It's madness in San Francisco. So sorry. That's Scott Wiener triggers me. And sorry, Kimberly, you triggered me a little bit too. So, okay. The cost of these break-ins on our life is, I'm sorry, I'm a mess tonight. The cost of these break-ins on the life of our city is absolutely a problem. Residents should not have a fear of leaving their car on the streets for 2 minutes, and tourists leave SF happy with memories instead of trauma and frustration. Yeah, I agree. Okay. I'm grateful for the support of Mayor Linda Breed. Shut up. Brooke Jenkins, only one. Brooke Jenkins is the only official in San Francisco that I'm like right on. She's the only one that is doing stuff to try and improve that city. Everybody else that's doing stuff now to try to improve that city is because they're trying to cover their ass. Because Scott Wiener, where you been at the last few years? This has obviously been a problem for years. And now all of a sudden you're addressing this. How did we not know that you had to prove your car was locked in order to be able to go after these guys? You have to prove that your car was locked, even if they broke the window. That's madness. How do we not know this? How did you not know that, Scott? Did you know it and you just didn't do anything about it for 2 years? So it's one of the two. You either didn't do your due diligence and figure out why this stuff is happening to get to the bottom of it for your constituents, so you're lazy, or you knew about it and you didn't tell anybody and you're underhanded. So which one is it, Scott? You freaking wiener? Yeah, see what I did there? Can't stand these people. I can't stand these people. So this is one of the reasons why I might as well say it. It's not a for sure thing yet, but I'm going to try and run for California State Senate. And I'm going to be the anti-Scott Wiener. Probably won't happen, even if I get on the ballot. You know, it's a David and Goliath type situation. I'm sorry, my dog is drinking water right now. She likes to wait until the show starts. She doesn't drink water all day, and then she waits until the show starts to drink water. It would absolutely be a David versus Goliath type situation. But, yeah. How much is the fine for washing your cooter on the street? I don't know, Wally. It's probably like $150. Jeez. Oh, San Francisco is an absolute mess. I'm just looking at some of the comments now. Yeah, I can't believe that I didn't know that. The law showed even if there's video footage of somebody breaking your window to get into your car, the car owner would have to go to court and testify, yes, my car was locked, in order for them to be able to prosecute it, which means all the tourists are just shit out of luck. Sorry, Shelly. Unbelievable. Okay. So that's what Scott Wiener's doing to improve San Francisco. Oh man, you guys. My dog just tried to stand up and she can't. My German Shepherd is in bad shape, you guys. Oh, I might have to pause you guys in a minute and go over and help my dog, but she seems okay for the moment. Oh yeah, and this. So this is in Sacramento. This isn't San Francisco, but these Sacramento. So if you guys can't tell what they're doing, they're at a gas station that looks like it has a 7-Eleven attached to it, or a convenience store of some type, like an AM PM type thing. And the delivery truck, these guys are stealing straight from the delivery truck. They're not even stealing from the store. They're just hijacking the delivery truck. You'd think they would have picked a larger vehicle to do this with. We're going to start seeing, and I'm sure there already are some trucks being hijacked and like the entire truck being stolen, but I feel like we're going to start seeing that a lot. We're going to start seeing this crime has gotten to the point where these criminals have been doing this for a while, and they're learning what works, they're learning what's not. They are becoming hardened criminals, and they are going to start upping the ante. They're going to start going on to bigger and better things and doing more risky stuff. They've created a monster. So I think that's about this. Well, this was spotted on the Bay Bridge back on October 26th. Look at this. Imagine driving across the Bay Bridge on the San Francisco side, just looking to your left and seeing this. That was anticlimactic. Yeah. Just car's missing the wheel. He's just driving down the road. Oh, it's just, never mind. The wheel's like halfway off. Sparks flying everywhere. Insane. The cops had to force him over. Okay. What's crazy is that's the second time I've seen a video of that exact same thing in California. Yeah, I'm going to blame benzos and SSRIs. It's freaking madness. This happened a couple of days ago, too. This gentleman, I can't remember this guy's name, but he's like kind of famous in San Francisco. But listen to what the politician says to him after he's done speaking.
People are waking up and no longer willing to accept a failure from this board. Thank you all. You guys are worse than this.
Thank you for your comment.
People are waking up and no.
Yeah, so got caught on a hot mic. You're a horse's ass. Who even says that? Oh man, San Francisco's a joke. Oh yeah, I talked about this last show. So yeah, Leonard Breed defunding the sheriffs. San Francisco Sheriff's Department. They don't have the greatest relationship, and that's mostly going to affect the jails. All right, we'll stop with San Francisco for now. We'll move on from that crap. You know what? I should probably make sure that I'm actually streaming over on X, shouldn't I? Let's go over there and check it out really quick. Sorry, folks. I know I'm a disaster tonight. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday. If you are hanging out and you would like to help the show, please give that like button a little tap. Be wonderful. Share the show. retweet, like, all that good stuff. What is happening here? Why can't? Oh, I'm stupid. That's what's happening. I apologize, folks. All right. And it does look like we are. Wait. Oh, there we are. All right. It does look like we are streaming over on X. How wonderful. All right. Good things. Okay, let's continue with more California madness. There's a whole bunch of Gavin Newsom videos that came out today. Gavin had his own, like, I don't know what this guy's a reporter for like a local Fox station, and he was like Gavin's chaperone during his China trip. And he got an interview with him, and there's a bunch of clips that came out today, and we'll play a few of them. The audio is really bad. I talked a little bit of shit to this guy Alex about the audio in his video. He got super butthurt. I felt like a jerk after too, because as you guys know, I've done like a whole live stream with the wrong audio selected. I've done an entire live stream where I never even went live. So I was just talking shit, and I have no right to, because I'm just as much of a boomer when it comes to this stuff as anybody else. But his audio wasn't that great, and he was just like lost in ears, like, you know what? I was on 3 hours of sleep. I was doing the lighting, the video, and the audio for my first. He went off. He was all mad. I felt kind of bad for harping on him a little bit. But let's listen to a couple of these Gavin clips. Yeah, let's use this really quick.
Pre-pandemic tourism, and that's for our
Yeah,
restaurants,
audio's
our
bad.
hotels,
Sorry.
our retailers. I want to get that back. So buy with 2 million.
Are you concerned, though, that some of those images of you may be used as sort of propaganda by an administration that a lot of people see as repressive and communist?
Well, I mean, I was here 3 prior occasions. You had a bipartisan, you have Republicans and Democrats here just a few weeks ago. Senator Schumer was here. I imagine the same would be said at those meetings. Same will be said about the meeting President Biden will be having with President Xi in the state of California. It's the nature of life. You can have a closed fist or an open hand. You could turn your back. You could deny that we live on the same planet and that we have a mutuality. I mean, the number one trading partner, Californians need to know this. Number one trading partner in America between our 2 states is California, $166 billion
China.
with China. I mean, it's tourism and trade. And
He's so running. How are they going to do the switcheroony? They're going to switch out Newsom with Biden. They have to. How are they going to do the switcheroony?
we haven't recovered from the pre-pandemic tourism, and that's for our restaurants, our hotels, our retailers. I want to get that back. So buy with 2 million Chinese Americans living in California. I come from San Francisco, gateway China, the first and largest Chinatown. I want to get back to that. And look at the
Gavin should go to Chinatown and ask the citizens of Chinatown how safe they feel walking around in the city at night.
end of the day, with all due respect, I don't want a new Cold War. I don't want to go to war with China. I mean, some people I think really do. I mean, it scares the hell out of me. Think about that. I mean, I mean this. We got to soften the tone and tenor here. And that was the reason I came. I couldn't take the rhetoric. People need to take, we can.
Oh, you guys, the reason he went there is because he couldn't take the rhetoric anymore. That's why he went to China. It all makes sense now.
Hold strong on our strategic red lines. I didn't come here to apologize for what President Biden's done. I think he's had a masterclass in how he's been dealing internationally with China in terms of what he's just done on chips, and that impacts our state as much or more than most states. And I defended that decision. I defended our position as it relates to Taiwan and what's happening and the concerns we have around the Taiwan Straits. And I defended very forcefully what we're doing more broadly on a myriad of other issues, and at the same time, focusing on the areas of agreement so we can advance our common cause.
Gavin would never sit down with an interviewer that's going to push back a lot on what he's saying. And he always does this thing whenever anybody catches him off guard or catches him in one of his BS contradictions, he does the nervous Kamala laugh. Like he laughs like, how dare you question my authority type thing. I don't even want to play another clip of Gavin. Yeah, I don't want to. All right. So you guys see this video coming out of San Diego yesterday. It was yeah, it's pretty weird. Let's watch it from the beginning here. So let me change this. There we go. All right, let me go full screen here. So this came out of San Diego, and the official story was that it was flares from a ship. So you guys tell me, is this like flares to you?
These were seen over San Diego last night.
Sarah, get out here.
I've got 2 different angles of this.
What is that?
It don't look like flares.
Sarah, get out
to me,
here.
guys. All right, what is it? Some Project Bluebeam stuff, government alien psyops, actual aliens. What do we got? What are we looking at? Optical illusion of some type, because it is that time of the night where weird stuff happens, where you can see the sun is setting, right? So these things could be higher than the horizon. So the sun is hitting these, illuminating them, right? And everything else is dark, that type of thing. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are we looking at?
Sarah.
Come on, Sarah. It's weird how it looks like a couple of them come back together.
What the hell?
There's the other angle.
Have you seen this, dude? Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like this before? No, the entry was weird too. Oh my god.
Yeah, okay. He said the same thing I was thinking. The entrance was weird too. It was like they fell out of the sky. It was like the Transformers movie. They're like, didn't that happen in the Transformers movie? I can't even remember. I saw it so long ago. They fell out of the sky as it was like one group, and then they split into 4. It was weird.
Whoa! Those are spaceships, dude.
Oh, you know those guys are baked. Those are spaceships, dude. That was great. I don't know. Nothing would surprise me at this point. So RFK said on the 26th he had an intruder climb his fence at his house, and he was arrested. And that was after being released from police custody later in the day. He immediately returned to my home and was arrested again. Okay. They still haven't given him a Secret Service detail, and he's requested it, apparently. And I guess Obama was given a Secret Service detail like way earlier in his running. So whatever, I guess. So watch out, RFK. Eventbrite is I don't know if you guys use Eventbrite. It's like a place where you can book tickets and stuff online. I've used it several times, but this is from Ollie London. Eventbrite has banned there's a Riley Gaines thing. Eventbrite bans women's rights events organized by Riley Gaines while allowing pro-Hamas events on their website. So first of all, I think both of them, free speech, you defend the right for those you find abhorrent to speak. So I will defend the right of even Hamas to speak. Like, yes, if you want to say horrible, awful things and advocate for horrible, awful things, I do think you should be able to say it. So I don't think they should be kicking off anybody, including Hamas, but Eventbrite bans women's rights event organized by Riley Gaines while allowing Hamas events on their website. The event listing company has banned the Protecting Women's Sports event set to be held at the University of California, Davis from being listed on its site, claiming it incites violence. Oh my God. Okay. So the Defend Women's Sports event incites violence, but Hamas supporters don't. Okay. In contrast, the platform has multiple pro-Hamas events calling for an end to Israel, with one listed event referring to Hamas as freedom fighters and praising their October 7th attack on Israel when 1,400 civilians lost their lives. Okay. All right. Well, that's happening. We'll get into the Israel-Palestine stuff later, guys. I don't even want to talk about it right now. If you watch the show, you know my stance on this. I'm anti-war, and I ain't on nobody's side. Okay, that's it. That's back to where I was from last show. All right, so enough of that. So I think I do have a couple more California things to talk about. Yeah, I got a little gun control news, I believe. Let's see. Freaking defend women's sports incites violence, but okay. All right. If you say so. Let's check in on some California gun control stuff. Well, actually, no, we don't even talk about California gun control stuff. Newsom tried to sign some other BS, but we don't even get into that. But this is from the Daily Mail UK, and they are reporting all right, am I back? Oh, it looks like I'm still alive at least. Wally World, are you still there? How are we doing? My whole browser crashed. That was interesting to say the least. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if I'm still alive, guys. If I'm still here, give me a thumbs up or something. Oh, I'm back. All right. Well, I'm going to have to try and do something. I guess I'm going to have to try to do this on the fly. Yeah, sorry guys. My computer's I need a new machine. I can't afford a new machine right now, but it looks like I need a new one. So, all right. Everything I had pulled up is now down, and I have to re-sign into everything. So, this is going to take a minute. Apologize, folks. Unreal. Oh, jeez. All right. You know what? Maybe we'll just jump right over to Israel, Palestine then. Actually, you know what, guys? Okay. All right. Well, you guys are still there. I'll continue. Might as well. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I apologize. So let's jump over to some Israel-Palestine stuff. If I could at least get things pulled up quickly. I think we can. And I don't even know why I feel obligated to talk about Israel-Palestine because the U.S. is getting dragged into it, and it looks like we're marching towards World War III and a conflict with Iran. And yeah, so that is why I'm obligated to talk about it. But my stance on the whole thing hasn't changed, and it won't change in terms of I'm anti-war, and I do not want United States funding going to fund another war in a foreign land. I don't want any part of that. And that's my stance on it. And I put out something earlier. Well, I said this earlier, and some people agreed, some people did not agree. But I said Israel wants to completely wipe Palestine out. Palestine wants to completely wipe Israel out. All of us are being propagandized into choosing a side and cheering for war. Do I have that correct? And that's how I feel. That this whole thing is being pushed on everybody. War is being pushed on everybody. And I think governments are evil. I think our government's evil. I think the Israeli government's evil. If Palestine had a government, I'm sure they would be evil too. I don't trust governments whatsoever. And I also believe that governments want war a lot of the time. War solves a lot of problems for them. This war has distracted a lot of people from a lot of things. And I do not think at all that the Israeli government it is not past the Israeli government to allow this Hamas to happen on their own people and allow 1,400 of their own citizens to be slaughtered and massacred so they can use that as pretext to say, look, world stage, look what they did to us. We're going to go and level Gaza, like to the ground, level it. And it looks like that's what they're doing to me. So standing back from this and looking at this as a non-Israeli, as a non-Palestinian, as a libertarian, not a liberal, not a conservative, it looks to me like the Israelis want to completely wipe out Palestine, not Hamas. They want to completely wipe out the Palestinians altogether, the Israeli government, and the same thing with Hamas and a lot of the Palestinians want to completely wipe out the Israelis. They both hate each other and they want each other completely gone. A lot of people say, well, no, Israel only wants to wipe out Hamas. That isn't what I'm seeing. If Israel only wants to wipe out Hamas, why are they leveling all these buildings? Well, they use people as human shields. Okay. Anna Kasparian made this. I can't believe I'm agreeing with her. She made this argument earlier. Since when is they're using human shields an okay excuse to kill the human shield. Like you, in Ukraine versus Russia, we're doing the whole body count thing, like comparing this many soldiers has died versus this many soldiers has died. Are they doing this with civilians? Because how many Palestinian civilians have died? Because I don't think these buildings are all empty. And then we're talking dozens, maybe 100 buildings by now, tall buildings that are just being leveled, like demolished just while they're occupied. Yes, what Hamas did was horrible, horrific. Anyway, the reason I say these things is just the rhetoric that's coming from Netanyahu. It's so reminiscent of the rhetoric that was coming from the Bush administration. And what did we learn after all of this? 9/11, the Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction. The Taliban is stronger now, and they have tons of weapons that we gave them. Nothing is better after what we did in reaction, in our emotional reaction to 9/11. And they're cheering for the same thing to happen in Israel. They're using the same exact freaking playbook. All right, so let's listen to Netanyahu talk about this crap. All right, thanks for letting me know, Raymond. Appreciate it. All right, let me see. Can I actually do this now without crashing? Let's see. Okay, I guess we can. This might be a way easier way to do the entire show. I think my machine would operate faster if I didn't have as many tabs open too. Okay, so let me pop this out. Okay, that might actually work. All right, let's play this video of Netanyahu talking, because this is the, I'm sorry, I might have lost a bunch of you guys already, but I'm not taking a side on this. And to me, the Israeli government looks just as guilty of horrible atrocities. So let's listen to him talk.
I want to make clear Israel's position regarding a ceasefire. Just as the United States would not agree to a ceasefire after the bombing of Pearl Harbor or after the terrorist attack of 9/11, Israel will not agree to a cessation of hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October 7th. Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. That will not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bible says that there is a time for peace and a time for war. This is a time for war.
See, I am not down with this rhetoric. So, okay, is this what's drawing us into the war? The Bible says, and it's a time for war. I hate this rhetoric. I hate this rhetoric.
War for our common future. Today, we draw a line between the forces of civilization and the forces of barbarism. It is a time for everyone to decide where they stand. Israel will stand against the forces of barbarism until victory. I hope and pray that civilized nations everywhere will back this fight, because Israel's fight is your fight. Because if Hamas and Iran's axis of evil win, you will be
axis of evil. It's the same playbook.
Their next target. That's why Israel's victory will be your victory. But make no mistake, regardless of who stands with Israel, Israel will fight until this battle is won, and Israel will prevail. May God bless Israel, and may God bless all those who stand with Israel.
See, that to me is to me, it sounds like he wants to wipe out all of Palestine. It doesn't sound like he's talking about just Hamas there. Maybe I'm way off. I don't think I am. Let's continue. This is footage of, this is from October 7th. This is Hamas destroying a car with a rocket. Looks like a civilian car. So. Yeah, so it looks like it was just a civilian. And see, that's the thing, too. I don't stand with any of this from the river to the sea crap either. I don't stand with any of these leftists on campuses. Like, that's the thing, too, is people are going off half-cocked, calling for genocidal. There's tons of super anti-Jew stuff going around right now. And people saying, like, my issue is with the Israeli government. And people that they constrict their whole populace into being military members, essentially. So, I'm not really down with that either. But there's this huge conflation with is the Israeli government and Israelis and the Jews. Like, all Jews are speaking for what the Israeli government is doing, or backing what the Israeli government's doing, and that's not the case. I never wanted to get into this stuff. All right, let's listen to this ex-Israeli soldier talk. This is stuff that I didn't know was happening, and if this is false information, you guys let me know how it's false.
So these Jewish settlers that live in Hebron are living under the same rights that I live in Jerusalem, but the Palestinian next to them, next house over, next building over, sometimes next apartment over, lives under my rule, my military rule. And I can do whatever I want with him. I can take his home as a temporary base for a few hours to a few days to a few weeks. I can decide that I'm arresting the people of the house and tying them up to the fence of my base. If we will get an order to demolish their home or just lock their front door and don't let them out into the street their house is on, a street that only Jewish settlers can walk on and Palestinians cannot. So they have to walk through windows to yards, into the other side, into the Kasbah of Hebron. I think realizing all of that in a very, very early stage in my service helped me understood that someone was lying to me along the way. I didn't feel like I'm protecting anyone. I didn't feel like I'm helping anyone feeling more safe. I feel like I'm terrorizing people. I feel like for the first time in my life, the boundaries between good and bad that I learned as a kid, and obviously I learned that I'm on the good side, was broken. I felt like I am the terrorist. And my job was literally to scare people so they cannot think about acting against the Israeli settlers or the Israeli military. That was actually our defined mission, to make sure that to instill fear in the hearts of Palestinians in Hebron. And that's exactly what we did.
So seeing the stuff about Palestinians like in the West Bank being forced from their home, and Israeli people talking about how videos of, we don't think they're like, I don't know what I could show you. I just don't even, but this, I should mention, this came out today. The 23-year-old Shani Luke, she was found, her skull was found. This is horrible. The whole thing's freaking horrible. I mean, just a beautiful young girl at a dance party, and just horrific. Her life turns into an actual horror movie. And yeah, the whole thing's absolutely horrific. And then this is what's happening back here in the States. So there's this guy, like, this is.
Time I see those signs, you know what I do? I rip them down.
You rip them down?
All those signs that y'all post up, guess what I do? Rip them, spit on them.
Oh, you don't care about innocent hostages taken by murder and rapists?
What about all those Palestinian babies?
I care about those Palestinian babies that are being murdered by Hamas and Islamic Jihad hands. I do care about them. You don't,
I
clearly.
love Hamas. I think Hamas.
Oh, you
should
love a
bomb
terrorist
Israel
organization.
until the fucking sand glows.
Interesting. Harvard Square, everyone.
I think Hamas should blow
Harvard
the fuck
Square.
out of Israel. I think they're all dirty, dirty animals.
That's
and
not
they all deserve to
anti-Semitism?
die.
That's not anti-Semitism?
See, and I hear this rhetoric, the animals, the dehumanization, the animals and the orcs talk and all that. I hear that coming from both sides. And this is normal. This is what happens in war. In order to do horrific shit to each other, to another human being, you have to dehumanize them. You have to make them less than human in your mind. If you looked at them as another brother, you would be able to do the horrible things to them. Or unless you're a complete psychopath. But he keeps going. Listen more.
For real, they should be all exterminated.
Thank you.
See, and there it is. There it is. The extermination talk. It's the hardcore Islamists are the shit is scary. It's the shit they believe, like the hardcore Sharia law Islamists, the shit they believe will change a nation. That's for sure. I mean, you could look at Iran in the 70s, but I mean, we could blame ourselves for that, but we can go down that rabbit hole. But here he goes, keeps going.
Every single one of them. And their kids, their mothers, their children, everybody, just like Hitler
Thank
did.
you for approving our.
Just like Hitler did. There it is. There it is, folks. Calling for genocide. Yeah. Kimberly Hogan, it feels like Ukraine wasn't holding the attention of the people, so they need one that would grab their attention. Yeah, well, this certainly did that. This certainly did that. They got everyone in the world talking about this now. This is interesting, though. Actually, this is from Layla Gray. I don't know. She might be big on a different platform, like TikTok or something. But she put this out. Layla Gray at Propaganda Layla on Twitter. I thought I followed her. I should follow her. There. I want to make sure I followed her really quick. All right, Layla Gray. She put this video together, and it's I found it interesting. So let's play it really quick.
I would say this is probably one of the worst propaganda tactics. I was researching the Mossad.
Impressive.
No big deal. And I found this really interesting clip.
Expressed policies of the Israeli government. People here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response?
It's a trick. We always use it. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. They are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
I would say this is probably one of the worst propaganda tactics I've ever seen. Exploiting real tragedy, it's even low for a propagandist, honestly. I was researching.
So, I mean, what that shows to me is a deep understanding of human psychology and a sinister ability to, I guess, like compartmentalize your narcissism and only direct it at those that aren't your tribe, essentially. Yeah, they weaponize the term anti-Semitic. That is the thing too. They've ruined the term anti-Semitic, racist, homophobe, bigot, all that stuff. It's just become another throw around word, anti-Semitic. Like it used to mean if you're it doesn't mean anything anymore. They're calling anybody that criticizes the Israeli government for leveling buildings in Gaza, killing thousands of people, anti-Semitic. If no, just don't like thousands of people being killed all at once, most of which are innocent civilians. And then they go and say that they're taking out Gaza when, if what they're saying is true about the tunnels, well, they probably survived and you just killed a bunch of civilians in the buildings. It's all right. Well, here, this is from an account called Save Palestine, so I don't know how legit this is, but this is apparently unprecedented missile attacks on Tel Aviv from Jaffa. So, I mean, this video could be from any. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. There's even a note. Stay informed. This media is presented out of context. Yeah, this video can be from anything. I think I showed this last episode, so I won't show that again. Yeah. All right. I think we're done with Israel Palestine, except there is. I don't know how much you guys know about Israeli intelligence agencies, or the Israel Intelligence Agency, the Israeli Mossad, but I first learned about the Israeli Mossad way back in the day when my dad brought up the Israeli guys dancing on the van after 9/11. I was like, what? This was like really early on after 9/11. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I mean, this is really early on. My dad was just like super confused by it because, you know, Israel's like our allies. And my dad's not a conspiracy theorist at all. And I just remembered him mentioning it in passing. And, you know, years and years go by. And then I look into it a little more. And, well, it turns out those guys, that wasn't nothing. Those Israelis that were dancing on top of the van after 9/11. So, as many of you guys already know, I don't think the official narrative we were given from the 9/11 report was the correct what happened on 9/11. I don't think we'll ever know exactly what happened, but I believe at a minimum, our government allowed that to happen. And I believe there's other evidence to suggest, well, I won't get into that too much right now. Maybe we'll do a whole 9/11 episode at some point, but I believe Israel allowed this to happen. And this is me. Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory. So this is my theory. I think that. I don't have proof of that. None of that. So I'm not denying any sort of event happened. That absolutely happened on October 7th or whatever it was. But let's play this quick video. Actually, oh, you know what? Never mind. I forgot I'm doing this differently now. Let's go back here. This might be a better way to do it. I might have accidentally, my dog is snoring so loud. I might have stumbled across a better way to do this. Okay, so let's go to, yeah, you know what? I might end up doing this from now on. It might take a little longer, but it's just cleaner and easier to navigate. All right, so unless I crash it again, that would suck. Okay, so I won't play this whole video, but let's listen to at least the first few minutes of it. So again, 9/11, Israelis dancing on a van.
It began when this woman was watching the Twin Towers burning from her apartment in New Jersey. She noticed three men on top of a van, posing for pictures with the towers burning in the background.
And I could see that they were like happy, you know, they didn't look shocked to me, you know, they didn't look shocked. I thought it was very strange.
The witness called police, who stopped the van hours later and arrested 5 men. All 5, it turns out, were Israeli. They were turned over to the FBI. Sources tell ABC News during a check of national security databases, some of the men were listed as having had connections with Israeli intelligence. At the FBI, that set off alarm bells.
Okay, so lady sees guys dancing on top of a van, taking pictures with the burning 9/11 buildings in the background. Okay, these guys are clearly celebrating a huge what just happened. I mean, immediately you should start thinking, did they have something to do with this? But so the FBI takes them into custody, and then they realize that they have connections to Israeli intelligence, Mossad. These guys are connected to Israeli Mossad. What? Like, how many people know about this? Like, this was, again, I heard about this very early on from my dad, and it's never made any sense to me. So right off the bat, FBI, Israelis dancing on a van, they pick them up, and they got connection to Israeli Mossad. Red flags. Let's continue.
The FBI needed the answers to three important questions. Who were these men? What brought them to that parking lot on the morning of September 11th? And did they have any advance knowledge of what was going to happen that day? The men said they were just taking pictures at the time. They said they worked for a company called Urban Moving. The FBI obtained a search warrant for the company's offices.
2 SUVs were filled up with between 9 and 12 boxes and computers.
Not long after the arrests, the offices of Urban Moving were simply abandoned. Almost everything was left behind. In jail, the 5 Israelis were repeatedly interrogated and given lie detector tests. Stephen Gordon was their American lawyer.
They were asked questions if they had ever been approached by or hired by any non-United States intelligence community.
While there is still some debate among American intelligence officials, many investigators believe some of the men were part of an Israeli operation aimed at monitoring radical Islamic charities that support groups like Hamas.
Then why would they cheer when radical Islamists fulfill their objective? Unless they were cheering because they wanted that to happen, because they knew it would justify a set of actions that the United States government would take. Fast forward to October 7th, 2023. And then you get another event where it seems that intelligence completely broke down and failed, and it took them 6 hours to respond, it seems. And paragliders were training right over there in Gaza, and Israel didn't notice, and they got warnings from the Egyptians. And then Netanyahu's saying all this axis of evil crap, and this is a time for war. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't.
Something lawyers for the 5 men and the Israeli government strongly deny.
These 5 Israelis were not involved in any intelligence operation in the United States. The story is simply false.
In the end, the FBI concluded there was no evidence that any of the 5 men had advance knowledge of the September 11th plot. After 71 days, the 5 Israelis were deported, leaving some ruffled feathers among both U.S. and Israeli officials.
Okay, that's where I'll stop. But, like, are you kidding me? So they deported them. Like, what were you guys doing here? Why were you celebrating on the top of a van? So again, to recap, Israelis with known attachments to Israeli intelligence were on top of a van moments after the planes crashed into the towers, with the towers in the background celebrating and taking pictures. And the FBI picked them up, and they wanted to know if they had any prior knowledge. And they asked them if they had any connection to intelligence agencies outside of the United States. Okay. And remember what 9/11 got us. Iraq, just all the things that they used 9/11 as justification for, the Patriot Act. Now, J6 prisoners being used against. It's just Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that was all I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, that was it. All right. I apologize for the little glitch I had there in the middle of the show. Just browser just crashed on me, apparently. So that was fun. All right. Well, I am so glad you guys hung out for the evening. That is pretty much all I'm going to share with you tonight. I will be back again tomorrow. I'm going to try and do a show every night this week because I might have some exciting announcements coming up, but I'm not positive yet. Jeez, what the heck happened here? Looks like this book got burned. This book is getting pretty beat up because I throw it on the ground every night. Okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna pick a random one. I'm not even gonna check it, you guys. I'm just gonna open up to a joke and let me check chat. Wally World, Kimberly, Raymond, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. You know how we do it. We got to end the night with a joke from the greatest book I've written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's go. All right, this is what we got for the evening. It's no coincidence that the tattoo on Mike Tyson's face and the sole of Chuck Norris's boots are the same pattern. And on that note, folks, stay CaliBased.